Hi, my name is Nicholas. Welcome to this week's Yin practice. For props for today, the main one will be the wall, and then a couple hard blocks, a soft block might be handy, maybe even like a blanket or something like that. When you're ready, we're going to get started in legs up pose, and we'll use the wall for this. So if you're familiar with the shape, feel free to get into it straight away. Otherwise, you might choose to use your soft block, maybe up against the wall, just to have the pelvis to rest onto, and it may make it feel a little more effortless, especially if your hamstrings are a little bit tighter today. You could also save the block and use it as a pillow. When you're ready, I was just coming up and bringing the bum as close to the wall as you can from lying on your side, kind of like a fetal position. And then you can start to roll the spine down onto the floor as you roll the legs up towards the ceiling. And you may land on your prop or you may need to adjust it a little bit. So just take a moment to set that up. And starting to slide the legs up towards the ceiling. And settling into any version of the shape. So if having the legs fully extended doesn't work, feel free to start with the bend to the knees. You could even have the feet flat. If you don't want to scuff the wall, maybe wear socks for today's practice. If you need a little movement to help you settle in, then feel free to add that in here. And then find a comfy spot for the arms as well. You can rest them anywhere on your body or beside it. You can take them to the floor overhead or up to the ceiling as well. Whatever you're choosing, if anything starts to feel a little numb, like pins and needles or something like that, then just gently back out. Otherwise, as you're ready, come and find your stillness here. Closing down the eyes. Notice the gentle flow of your breath. Notice if anything comes up in the body. If the mind has started to wander, gently guide it back to your body, to your breath. We're going to stay on the back for the next shape, but if you need to wiggle out the fingers and the toes, if you need to windshield wiper the legs a little bit, then go for it. And we're going to set up for a wide-legged expression of this shape. So you can start to let the legs slide open slowly. And take your time. You can use the arms as kickstands to support them. And gravity will kind of do its work as well. See that you can be mostly even side to side. And your hard blocks might come in handy here as well. You might use them to brace the legs in any way that you need. It might not be completely stable, but if you find them kind of dipping too open and it feels too intense or you're starting to experience pain or anything like that, then this might be helpful. And then I also like to turn the toes a little bit down towards the floor. I find that it just makes the whole thing feel more comfortable in the pelvis. So you might explore that, or you might explore your version of it. Maybe it's to flex the feet or to point the toes or something else. And it's kind of hard to tell if both legs are open the exact same amount. So rather than going by visual, you could also just see what they feel like. If it feels like a similar stretch on either side of the groin, then it might be a good place to stop. And again, you can set up the arms any way that you like, maybe extend it out to the sides. Closing your eyes and finding your stillness. As you feel ready to exit, it's possible that the legs have slid open a little bit more while you've held the shape. So you can use the strength of the arms to gently slide the legs back up towards the ceiling. Once you arrive, see what feels good. Maybe a little pedaling, a little windshield wiper. Maybe to bend the knees in towards the chest and give them a hug. Awesome. And from here, you can re-extend the legs up towards the ceiling. If you need to give yourself a break or adjust anything, then go for it. And we're going to set up a figure 4 shape, so you can bend the right knee and bring the right knee just below the left one, or the right ankle just below the left knee. You can brace that right knee with the right hand if you like. And this may feel like plenty. You can stay right here. You could also explore what it feels like to start to bend the left knee any amount. And maybe it's only slightly bent. Maybe it's bent a little more generously. Listen to your body. If you're starting to feel any pinching in the right knee, then you might flex the foot or point the toes, see what relieves that. And then pause at a place that you feel steady. If you bent the left knee at all, gently slide the left foot back up so that you can release the right leg. If you need a pause or some movement, then go for it. And when you're ready, we'll set up for the second side. So left ankle just below the right knee, starting off with the right leg extended if you like, or straight away you can start to bend the knee any amount. And this side may need something a little different from the first side, so just take your time, take the shape as it comes. Pause when you feel steady. Find your pain-free expression and your stillness. Gently start to slide that right leg up, releasing the left as well. Maybe a little windshield wiper, a little tap. When you're ready, you can start to bend both knees in towards the chest and then roll off to one side wherever you have the most room. And take your pause on your side for a few breaths, letting everything adjust. And from your side, as you're ready, you can crawl your way onto the belly. It might be helpful to have your heart blocks near the top of the mat in case you need them. We're going to set up for a Sphinx pose here. And you can find any version of this. So you can have the elbows underneath the shoulders, you can have them further forward for a lesser back bend, or you can have them up on your props if you want more intensity for your back bend. You might take your time and just explore, see what version of the shape feels the best, and feel free to play around. If it feels really intense straight away, then it's likely to feel maybe more intense the longer you hold it. So try and find something that feels sustainable, somewhere that you can still breathe those smooth breaths. If your body's asking for anything extra as well, feel free to add on. You might explore bending the knees here. And take it slow and mindful of anything that comes up. And find your stillness. Gently slide the elbows apart as you lower your chest back down to the floor. We'll pause on the belly for a little bit just to let the spine settle. If you want, you can turn your head to one side. You could slide a knee up to one side or give the hips a little rock, whatever feels like a good release. And when you're ready, any way you like to get there, you can flip yourself onto your back. Just leave a little space between yourself and the wall. We're going to set up for some twists. If you want to have a hard block nearby, you might take it down to the right if you want to catch the knee on it. You can scoot the hips to the left and then extend the right leg towards straight. And then start to guide the left knee across the body, bringing it maybe to land on your prop. You can also support the left shoulder if it feels like it needs a little something extra. Maybe it's floating uncomfortably. If you like, you can take the gaze down towards the left as well, perhaps extending the left arm out also. Gently release the head back to center, and you can release the left leg as well, rolling the hips back to center. Let's see if you need a little movement between sides. Otherwise, we'll set up for the second side. Just make sure you have space between you and the wall, especially if you're going to extend that right arm. And hips over to the left. Left leg extends, and you can guide the right knee across the body, maybe to land on a prop. If the side needs any different support, then go for it. Maybe taking the gaze down towards the right as well. Gently release the head back to center, and you can unravel the twist. Scooting the hips back to midline, and check in here. See what movement feels nice, maybe a gentle windshield wiper side to side. Awesome. The next shape we'll set up from here is Shavasana. And for that, I would suggest a butterfly pose, but you can take any symmetrical shape that you like. If you're coming with me for butterfly, it might feel nice to support the hips a little bit, so maybe a block under each one. Perhaps resting the hands on the pelvis, the belly, the chest. Let's see if there are any adjustments you need to make here to make your shape feel a little more comfortable. Adjusting anything in your space. Adjusting anything on the body. Settling in here for your stillness, for your rest. Gently deepen the breath to reawaken the body. You might reach down and guide the knees back together. It might feel nice to extend the legs long down the mat, maybe take the arms up the mat and give yourself a full body stretch. Maybe a little wiggle of the shoulders or the hips. And then you might collect the knees back in the chest and wrap the arms around the shins, curl the forehead to the knees, and give yourself a gentle rock. You might come to roll down onto one side, maybe pausing for a couple of breaths. And then eventually, with the support of the hands, coming up to find any comfortable seated position. Taking a few moments in stillness to check back in with the body. Check in with your headspace here. Notice the gentle flow of the breath. Perhaps connecting the hands at the heart and bowing the chin towards the chest. Thank you for sharing your practice today. Namaste. Thank you for joining me for Yin practice. And my name is Nicholas. If you have any questions, please reach out and enjoy the rest of your week.